In this video, I'm going to show you a few of the Reverb plugins that come built in with Ableton Live full suite. So here we have this Superstition session that we've been using for a few videos now. And let's just listen to it and concentrate on the vocals.
Very superstitious, writings on the wall. Very superstitious.
Okay, it's a great performance and a great recording, but the singer sounds like she is right in front of me, and it's too close, right? It doesn't sound like the vocals are with the band, and she sounds too close. So obviously we could turn her volume down, right? But we also need to add some depth, and one of the main ways we do that is with the addition of reverb. So let's take a look at the basic reverb plugin that comes with, I think, every version of Ableton. And there are a lot of settings here. We're not going to talk about all of them in this video. However, if you have Info View open, which you can get to, I think, either through the Help menu or the View menu, you can hover over any of these and sort of read that info view about what that thing does. So anything we don't cover here in this video, you can look up on your own. I also highly recommend the Ableton Live manual. It's online and it's free. So I have turned this on, and it has a few very important settings that we will go over, starting with the dry wet control. This refers to the sound. So if it's 0%, it's 100% dry. And if it's at 100%, it's 100% wet. And if it's 100% wet, all you're going to hear is the reverb sound, and it'll sound probably pretty ridiculous in this context. And so let's just listen to it. Pretty noticeable, right? So I'm going to dial this back down to maybe, I don't know, 30%. We'll start there. I am going to go ahead and solo this track so that we can kind of concentrate on just the vocal sound. The next most important knob is this decay time. So this is in seconds or milliseconds, and the longer it is, the longer that reverb tail lasts.
Very superstitious.
So it's going to last a little over
Writings on the wall.
7 seconds.
Very superstitious.
Versus about half a second.
Ladder's about to fall.
You know, even just half a second does serve to create some space between us and the singer. Let's A/B it by turning this on and off.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall.
She just took a step back. You know, I don't know if you can hear that. If you're using headphones, highly recommend, because if you're using like computer speakers or something, these subtle effects might not come through. All right, so we have the dry wet knob, the decay knob. There's also a size knob here, and this is controlling the size of the reverb or the size of the room, if you want to think about it that way. This plugin is an algorithmic reverb plugin, so it's not using like real spaces or anything. It's just calculating the characteristics of the audio processing using mathematical algorithms. Let's listen to how different sizes affect the reverb sound.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Very superstitious.
You can hear it's a totally different quality. Also, if you caught that little pitch rising as I move this, you'll see that there are a lot of interesting artifacts that are generated when you move a reverb or a delay setting in real time, and you can play around with automation. We do cover those things in audio production too. The last knob I'm going to talk about in this video for reverb is pre-delay. Pre-delay is how much time goes by before the reverb sound kicks in. Now 2.5 milliseconds is not very much time, so we're not really noticing it. I could go even faster and put it at half a millisecond. And now the reverb happens pretty much at the same time as the dry vocal. And so you're not going to hear a delay. It's only half a millisecond.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall.
Now, if I crank this up all the way to 250 milliseconds, that's a whole quarter of a second, you will definitely hear the space between the dry vocal and the reverb vocal.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Very superstitious.
So it's like a built-in delay. There are a lot of creative possibilities for this plugin. When we're using it for mixing, I would suggest, not going crazy. A little bit goes a long way. And so you're just gonna have to experiment with what works for your mix. Now I'm gonna turn this off and go down the chain here to the convolution reverb plugin. This is a totally different kind of plugin. Instead of mathematical algorithms being the only thing shaping the reverb, we have an IR, or an impulse response of a real space. So the way this works is that an audio engineer will go into a space. In this place, it's the Arundel nave, and they have a really nice microphone, usually a reference microphone or something, and they set off a series of clicks in that hall or that space, and then they record those clicks, and that's what you see here. This is the tail, right? The onset and then the tail of that click in that space. And so they take the audio file and they use it as a sample. And then this plugin does what's called convolving. It convolves the impulse response with the dry sound to come up with a reverbed sound. That is kind of a convoluted explanation, but that's the best I've got. So here we have the impulse response sample shown, and you can change that here, right? There's a folder, a set of folders, real places, ambience and small rooms, etc. Let's go to bigger spaces. And then for every menu, there are some sub-menus here. We'll go to BM7 Stone Quarry. That sounds exciting. Just like in the Reverb plugin, there is a dry wet knob. There's a width knob that's sort of like the stereo knob in the other plugin, and it controls the size from left to right of the reverb sound. There's a gain knob here, which will increase or decrease the outgoing volume. There's a decay time and a size and a pre-delay, just like we had in the other plugin. Let's listen to how this sounds. You will notice a distinct difference.
Very superstitious.
Let's back that up.
Writings on the wall.
And let's try a different impulse response here. We'll go to St. Paul's Hall, Huddersfield, Far. So you can see the sample even looks a lot different.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. Very superstitious.
So it just creates that depth in a different way. There is an EQ section hiding out back here if you want to check that out. And then last but not least, we're going to take a look at this hybrid reverb. And this gives you sort of the best of both worlds. It has an impulse response section, a convolution reverb section, but it also has an algorithmic reverb. This control right here is how you blend the two modes together. Right now they're in parallel, meaning that sound comes in, goes through each one separately, and then is blended at the output section, and you control the blend with this knob. Or I can have them go in series. So it will go through the convolution reverb first, then through the algorithmic reverb. And again, you can blend the strength here. I could also select either one or the other, and this turns half of the plugin off. There is a more robust EQ section here, but again, all of the same kind of knobs. We have pre-delay, we've got stereo width setting, we've got a dry wet knob, and there are plenty of other settings you can use to shape your reverb. Let's listen to this one.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. very superstitious.
That's a pretty long reverb.